Next, we're going to think about sharing screen. This is the fantastic thing about working remotely and doing classes and training via Zoom, because you can share your screen. There's lots of different things that you can share. I'm going to show you. If you go down to the bottom bar, you'll see that little green button that says share screen. If you click on that, there we go. And it's showing lots of different things that you can share. Right now I can share my desktop, which actually has this on. It's actually got the screencast that I'm using. That's what that little red and white box is around there. So it's trying to share that particular application that I have open on my computer right now. I can also open a whiteboard. I could plug in my phone, which is quite neat if I want to show people how to do things on a phone. So bear in mind that could be, for example, if you want to show a learner how to use something via their phone, and a lot of our learners are accessing remote learning via their phone, so you can do that. There's a few other advanced things here. Okay, you can share just a portion of your screen from a second camera or music and computer. I'm going to go backwards to basic just for a moment to show you one thing, that if, for example, I wanted to share a YouTube video, I need to click share computer sound there, and that means that they will actually hear the video that I'm sharing. Okay, I actually have something open, but for some reason it's not come up. Why has it not come up? Well, it could be because I've opened it and then I've minimized it. It needs to be open if I'm going to share it. So I'm going to go back to the bottom. I'm going to open. There we go. All right. I'm going to pop my Zoom back on again. I'm going to click share screen, and there it is. There's my Firefox. That's what I wanted to share before. So I'm going to click on my browser, and then I'm going to click share. And there we go. As you see, there's a green box around it, and that means that that is currently being shared. That's how you know that that's currently being shared. Something will also pop up at the top, as you can see here. It says you are screen sharing, so that we know when we are sharing screen, and we can click stop share. Once we've done that though, where's the chat gone? Well, if you click the three dots at the top where it says more, and then you can get that chat back up again. And your participants list is still there too. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing just for a moment. Now, what you might want to do is allow your learners, or those that you're in the room with, to share as well. It's really, really empowering for them, for other people to share. And the way that you can enable that is by going down to your security, the little shield at the bottom, and make sure that this is ticked here, which will allow participants to share screen. It's really, this little security shield is quite important for a few other things there as well. Making sure you've got your waiting room on, which if you've not sorted out your meeting link and you've accidentally not put your waiting room on, you can make sure you can enable it when you're already in a meeting. You can share screen, allow your participants to do different things. Share screen, chat, rename themselves, unmute themselves, for example, and then you can remove people too, if needed to. If you have a visualizer and you would like to use it in your Zoom meeting and lesson, you can use it for annotations. It's really good for phonics with your post-it notes, things like that. It can also be used for marking work. It's fantastic for maths, for working out. It's also really good for vocational, for example, sewing and things like that, to see really, really close-up things that you can't really show on a webcam like this. There's a few different ways that you can use your visualizer. So my visualizer is plugged in right now. It's called a Hue HD. You can either do it so that your where my camera is right now, that camera can be changed to point towards my visualizer, and I'll show you how to do that now. Go down to the bottom where it says stop video, click your arrow, and you can choose which camera you want. So I've got my Hue HD camera, click on that, and there you can see that's my visualizer. So you can see that it's looking straight at a book. All right, fantastic. I'm going to go back to me, change the camera again, and now I'm going to show you a different way, which would be to share your screen and share the visualizer through that way. And you can do that by clicking share screen there, and then click content from second camera. That's in your advanced section. So click content from the second camera and then click share. There you are. Okay, and you can see again. There it is. Fantastic. If you'd like your students to also share in the same way that you would a visualizer, but obviously they don't have their own visualizer, there is a way that they can do that via their phone. There are different apps out there. It depends on the app, depends on the space on the phone, depends on the student's Wi-Fi connection, depends on the phone. So it depends on a lot of those different things. Bearing in mind their Wi-Fi connection would have to deal with having Zoom on at the same time as also using the app. So there's a few things going on there. So the one that I'm using is called Epoch Cam. You can see it just there. Okay, and if I click on Epoch Cam, it just goes straight to the video. And the way that I can share through the visualizer, through my phone, to everyone else in Zoom is by clicking share screen. You need to make sure that you've enabled via the shield to allow all your participants to share screen so that other people can do it. Then click share screen, and then in the advanced section they would need to click content from second camera. So you would need to navigate your students to the advanced section, then tell them to click content from second camera and then click share. There you are. Okay, so you can see I'm now sharing my table. This particular app is a free app, but it does have a paid for version that's only a few pound, but still that's a few pound. So they're things to consider. I'm going to stop sharing now. So there was two ways that I could do that. I could either share screen, just like you would on your visualizer, or I could share via my video, and the two different things have two different purposes. So at the moment, if I did it on my video, and if there were quite a few different people in the room, then it would be quite small. Whereas if I share screen, it would take over everyone else's screen, so they'd be able to see what I was sharing. That's why it's quite important that on the security shield you make sure that you only allow your participants to share screen when you want them to, so that people don't randomly share things when you're in the middle of a session. Okay, so that's using a visualizer on your phone. It is possible, but have a think about whether you think it's most useful in your classes with your learners. There are other things that they could do instead if it's better. So they could, if you want them to just do a piece of work, and they could take a photo of the piece of work and send it to you. Or there is an app called Genius Scan actually, and I've made a video for that previously, so I'll pop a link to that underneath here so you can have a little look. Genius Scan allows people to use their phone to take photos of work, and then it makes a PDF and binds it, which is really cool, really neat. So if you've got a few different sheets, you can put them together, and it detects text, which is really funky as well, so that when they send it to you, they can send it straight from their phone too. Once they've sent it to you, then it makes it easier for marking and things like that, because you can highlight and add comments. So that might be an alternative to asking your learners to use their phone visualizer in a session. All right, like I said, have a little play, and it's whatever you think is suitable for your learners, fit for your learners and fit for your classes, that kind of thing. But bear in mind that if you're going to ask learners to do these kind of things, you really need to be confident as you can be in yourself, so that you can help and support them if any problems arise. However, don't be put off by that and think, oh, I've got to know everything, I've got to be an expert in Zoom, I've got to be an expert in Epoch Cam and Visualisers, all these these things. No, we're all learning together, okay? And just be honest about that with your learners. And maybe your learners can show you how to use Instagram, and you can be inspired by that and use Instagram in your lessons. Just ask them what they're into. Ask your colleagues if you need help. Don't be afraid to ask your colleagues different questions, and have a little look on YouTube. Email us for support as well. Okay, pop things in the comment of these videos. Don't be worried about asking for support, especially when it comes to our own digital resilience.